5 parish area in and around Lafayette, Louisiana. You're on in Crowley, Abbeville, St. Martinville, Youngsville, Broussard, and all points in betweens. We have on the line right now a hard to get brother, because this brother is very up and coming, popular. This brother might turn it around for the state of Louisiana. He might. I know he will. We have none other than United States Senate candidate for the Democratic nomination, Mr. Jamie Davis, on our line, telephone line. Good morning, Mr. Davis.
Good morning, Brother Jay. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's great to hear from you, man. I've been reading and hearing so much about you. You made a good showing, a great showing in the last election cycle. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the South Louisiana listening audience.
Well, just to tell the people in the listening audience who Jamie Davis is. Jamie Davis is a husband, he's a father, he's a grandfather, and even a great-grandfather. He also is the grandson of a sharecropper, which means that I'm a farmer. Mm-hmm. We grow cotton, corn, and soybeans. We work a farm that's about 3,200 acres. Mm-hmm. 700 of those acres my family own. I have served public office before, holding the position of vice president of parish government in the small parish of Tensall. I'm a public servant. I still serve on our local Head Start board. Mm-hmm. I serve at my church, which is the Harvest Baptist Church, as the president of our 21st Century Learning Center. I'm the secretary of the Tensall Parish Northeast Louisiana Rural Railroad Model. I am on the Farm Bureau cotton, corn, and grain boards. And also I serve for USDA on the PVOP board, just to name a few of the boards that I serve on in public service. But the reason why I'm here mm-hmm. is because Louisiana is at a crossroads.
Right.
People are struggling to just make it in everyday life. Life has gotten way out of hand, and it's hard for people to afford to live. Education is tough in some areas. Mm-hmm. Healthcare is a big issue for people.
And some of the co-hosts over the years on this platform Louisiana has some negative numbers. Matter of fact, one of your opponents, Mr. John Fleming, was on another talk show host on here on the Open Channel, and Louisiana negative numbers. He agreed with me. He agreed, and he's a Republican, right? And the point is not to prove that because a Republican is saying something. Everybody could see this, Mr. Davis. So my thing to you as a candidate, what would be the first situation you would try to push to implement? Because I know you're a one man being elected as a United States Senator. You're one man in that Senate. And how would that, what goes on the national level, trickle down to Louisiana in your position as a senator?
Well, at this very moment, we do have a lot of issues, a ton of issues throughout the state of Louisiana. Mm-hmm. But here in the last couple of weeks, what has been important to the people of Louisiana is voters' rights. So on November the 2nd, if the people of Louisiana send me, I should rephrase that.
Yes.
Because I'm going to speak this into existence. On November the 2nd, when the people of Louisiana send me to Washington, the first thing that I plan to do is to bring a bill that ends and bans gerrymandering in this nation and in this state, because Gerrymandering has turned this state and this nation upside down. You know, gerrymandering was a tactic that was used for Democrats to just try to be able to get some of the things that we deserve as rights. You know, so gerrymandering was used by Democrats just to be able to have a seat at the table. But gerrymandering has been used by the Republicans to build power to take away our rights. So the first thing I would love to do is put a ban on gerrymandering so that whenever anybody wants to try to deal with or tamper with the power of the way things are, that don't happen again. We need to have a nonpartisan commission that draws fair maps so that everybody have equal representation.
Right.
And I believe with what's happening in our country and in our state, I think that should be the first thing. But I also have a couple of bucket pieces that I would love to also bring right behind a national ban on gerrymandering.
Right. So were you surprised of your showing you had to get into the runoff, the Democratic runoff?
Well, I wouldn't say I was surprised, but what I will say was that, and the reason why, because I don't want to display or make anybody think that I'm cocky or arrogant or anything like that.
Right.
But I've always been told that your work should speak for you. The kind of work that you put in should show, because if it don't, then you wasn't doing good work.
Right.
So I knew that I had traveled all over this state trying to meet people, trying to see people, and and I knew I had touched a large block of people. So I was gracious to see that the people were really receptive to my message. That was the most humbling
right
of all
experience,
of it.
yes.
To know that the work that you put in, people rewarded you for the work that you put in.
We're joined right now by our my co-host brother Keith Falk from Lafayette. He's in the heart of Lafayette, and he knows what's going on as far as what's going on in the city of Lafayette and what the representative on the national level, the Senate, what has Brother Keith, because you had some concern of how the Senate candidates are dealing with our people here in the state of Louisiana. You got on the phone Mr. Jamie Davis, the candidate. You have any words to say to him? Go ahead, Brother Keith. Brother Keith?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. You can hear me?
Can you hear him, my brother?
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Brother Keith.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Davis, good morning to you. Good morning, Brother Jay. Good morning to the listening and viewing audience on all platforms. Mr. Davis, my question would be with the gerrymandering, the removing of the Voters' Rights Act. What effect can the number of representation that's sent to Congress at this current time with the current changing of the Voters' Rights Act? What kind of effect would we have, or what will we have any effect on any decision making?
Brother Davis, did you hear the question?
No, I could hear it. I could hear him, but it was very choppy.
Okay. he asking about gerrymandering, the effect of gerrymandering.
Um,
What can
yeah,
he do? Go
my
ahead, Keith. I
question
think
is,
I got his audio up. Go ahead.
my yeah, my
Okay,
question is,
okay. So was it?
what my question is, due to the changing of the Voters' Rights Act by the Supreme Court and limiting the number of black representation in Congress, will black representation have any effect or any decision making when it comes to policies and passing laws or passing bills,
Hmm.
and if there be any effect, what effect uh, will the African Americans have
Okay.
on the
Did
decision
you hear
making process?
Mr. Davis?
Yeah, it sounds like the question was what effect will what the Supreme Court new ruling and on the Voting Rights Act, what effect will that have moving forward when it comes
Yes.
to
Yes.
yes, okay. So if I heard him correctly, in my opinion, what the effect that the Voters' Rights Act will have, that means that you cannot draw maps by race. What that does is it gives any of the states that are in power, it gives them the ability to draw maps by partisanships,
Hmm.
meaning that they whomever the state is that which is in power, they can draw maps along party lines and actually eliminate
Right.
the opposite party. If like with Louisiana, speaking on Louisiana, and Louisiana having a super majority, with the way the Supreme Court ruled, we are blessed to even have the one district that we do have in the map that was passed by Louisiana legislature, last week. And Jeff Landry signed the law into signed the bill into law on Friday, which it took away a seat, but we still have one.
Hmm.
So with the way that the Supreme Court ruled, they could have easily passed a map that would have been a 6-0 map.
Right.
And so I am being told by the people that advise me that the the people of Calais, they actually wanted a 6-0 map, and they're going to sue the map that was passed.
Right.
Now that's what I'm being told. I can't say that will happen because that they haven't sued the map yet, but that's the decision, and what the ruling of decision means as far as when it comes down to drawing maps. They can be drawn by partisanship.
Right.
So here is what I gave you, the cons to that. Now here is the pros to that.
Okay.
The pros to that is when you look at the numbers in Louisiana is stronger in numbers when it comes to Democrats versus Republicans.
Yes.
So, but being that we don't have the power, we can't fight to draw maps that you can make a 3-3 map.
Right.
And legally make it, and it will pass by the voter, by the Supreme Court. Because when you look at the numbers, Louisiana is the numbers is like 1.5 or 1.4 million Democrats, and then 1.1 million Republicans.
Yeah.
So, which means that's about split half and half. So, you could actually draw a map that would be a 3-3 map, and it would be legal by the Supreme Court.
And the thing that trickles down to here on a local level, also on a national sidecar to all of this with reversing the voting right, is the concept of what you call voter suppression, the constructing laws that would limit the way a person vote or if a person can vote. Are you concerned some of the things that the state of Louisiana and on the national level that they might implement before the midterms that might hurt your campaign? Are you concerned about anything concerning voter suppression?
When it comes to my election,
Yes.
Anything can possibly happen, and we've seen it happen. But I think session has ended. Mm-hmm. They would have to try to bring back or come back to session for something else to happen, unless the governor maybe pulls an executive order on something. But I will say anything is possible with the group that we have in office right now.
And I'm chuckling because it's much like Donald Trump. Something just flies off the top of his head. A few of those advisors get in his head, and he's signing some type of executive order. And I see Jeff Landry. I'm critical of Jeff Landry. I am very critical of him on our platform. And anything could happen with him because he wants to be so much like his twin, almost twin in Washington, D.C. And that's the concern. They have some laws that have been implemented concerning voting in the state of Louisiana. We just don't know about some of the little things that might turn people off. See, the thing with me, candidate Davis, is that they construct things to discourage you or to put you in a situation of always to be concerned that you're doing something wrong. It's almost like making voting like it's something you're stealing, And I don't see that in the state of Louisiana. I don't see people doing any illegal things on a mass scale. And I think our community has always been targeted. So that's my concern, candidate Davis.
Yes, sir. And I totally agree with you on that. When you look at, like what you said, the amount of illegal votes that has been cast, when you put them in a pile, it's not even a big enough percentage to hardly register. When you put the state as a whole state and you dealing with a full mass of block of illegal votes that's been cast, it's not a large number. But to continue to make it harder for people to vote when we should be doing things to make it easier to vote. Life is getting simpler and easier every day when we introduce technology to life.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, you and I could not have this interview that we're having because I needed to be sitting in a studio with you.
Yes.
But now with things such as cell phones and these little smart chips that they can put in cell phones, I'm able to be in a car driving it on the radio talking to you.
Yes.
But now we have to have passports and birth certificates and picture ID just to go cast your right to vote.
Yeah, and that is a serious issue. Speaking of technology, you brought up the word, Brother Davis. We like to say down here, Brother Davis, candidate Davis for the United States Senate, Mr. Jamie Davis. You brought up technology. The issue also, and before I let Keith ask a question, what's your position on all of these massive data centers that are being built around the country? And there's a lot of evidence to show that is casting a negative situations in some communities. I am the biggest technology guy you could say, and Brother Keith and I. The thing is this. No constraints on big corporate people who pollute, who take away from the community, who contribute to the high cost of energy and in this economy. That's my concern. So what's your position on these large data centers being built in, and a lot of them being proposed to be built in Louisiana in your neck of the woods also.
Yeah, well, when it comes to new ones being built, because the ones that are already being built, it's pretty much my hands are tied on them.
Yes.
But when it comes to new ones, I believe that the community in which they are being built have the right to know about them beforehand. And I said those words because there are a lot of NDAs that are being signed in areas where they are coming to before the mass of the people know about them. I believe we have to deal with the open loops and the closed loop systems to where the closed loop systems don't nearly use as much water. And water is a precious resource when we're talking about data centers and the amount of water that the open loop systems use. So, number one, the community needs to know what type of data center is being built. Number two, the community should decide whether or not they want that data center in their area. Also, number three, that the community and the people that are serving those communities should be transparent with the people, so the people know what's happening or what's coming, because the one thing that the elected officials that are in the area, that are the ones that are signing these NDAs, they need to realize that they have been elected to serve the people. They are representatives of the people. So how do you sign an NDA when you're being sent to represent the people and the people want to know what's going on?
Right.
I believe that they need to realize that before they sign those NDAs.
Okay. Good. Brother Key, you have a question?
Yeah, I want to go back to the question I asked
Turn your volume
earlier.
up. Go ahead.
I want to go back to the question that I asked earlier because it wasn't about the effect the Supreme Court decision has on my question was being that the Supreme Court decision limits the number of Democratic candidates or African American candidates in Congress and the U.S. Senate, what effect would the decision have on policy making? If there's any effect on policy making in the U.S. Congress, what's the effect it have on policy making, passing bills to the favor of the African American?
I don't know if you got the gist of his question.
I think I heard him a little bit better this time. So if I am hearing what I thought he said, the question was the Supreme Court ruling, the effect that it had for making legislation for African Americans in Louisiana.
Yeah.
So I want to be very clear because if I heard his question right, the Supreme Court never told Louisiana to go back and redraw maps. They said that the maps could not be drawn by race. They didn't tell Jeff Landry to suspend an election and do what he did and redraw maps. He did that. The Supreme Court only said that it was unconstitutional to draw maps by race. They didn't tell the governor to go and redraw maps. That was a decision that he made upon himself. So with that being said, Jeff Landry made the decision to redraw maps that will eventually affect how Louisiana and the nation ends up with one representative short from the maps that we have currently right now. Because as of right now, Cleo Fields and Troy Carter still serve Louisiana as our representatives.
Right.
Their terms are not up yet. So until that time, we will still have them serving the people. But after the new election, once all of that is hashed out, because there is a court day that was set yesterday of, I think, June the 16th, where you had other plaintiffs that filed lawsuits against Calais.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be a ruling that will come up on June the 16th that we all are waiting to hear and see how it all shakes out. So, but of course, when it comes down to having one representative less in Congress that looks like you and I, that represent districts, from our communities, yes, it will have an effect on how legislation is passed, because with them drawing the maps the way they drew them, they have drawn the maps to be one seat shy of what we have currently, which would give a Republican advantage of one seat.
As it relates to the Supreme Court, if elected United States Senator from Louisiana, what can you do? And I heard this thrown around that the Supreme Court is right now is the heart of all our problems, Brother Keith, in the sense that we have some conservatives so hell-bent on rolling back the time on behalf of the Project 2025 people. And my concern would be, how would you handle that? Would you vote to increase more members on the Supreme Court?
Well, that is a good question, and I need to answer that very correctly when it comes down to it.
Hold on, caller. We have a caller. Hold on, caller. Hold on for a second.
And so the question that you're asking is,
hold on. Turn your radio down, caller. Okay. Now go ahead, Brother Davis.
Yeah, the question that you're asking is about expanding the course, right?
Yes.
So let's be very clear about, and I need to get that question. I need to answer that question very right. So I don't want to rush that.
I didn't want to throw a loaded one on you like that early in the morning.
Well, that gun is very loaded and it's hot. So when you talk about expanding the courts, that is something that I have thought about it, but I have not done enough research on expanding the courts. And here's the reason why I have not done enough research on expanding the courts. It's because I'm a farmer, and I am a practical guy. And so when I look at trying to pass legislation, I'm looking at passing it. I'm not looking at pipe dreams or hopes or dreams of what could happen. And when you talk about expanding the courts, it's kind of sort of like pipe dreams and can this really happen? Man, when you talk about expanding the courts, you're talking about the stars aligning and all of that kind of stuff, man. That has been talked about for a long time.
Yes.
But for that one, I would like to basically say, I'm not saying I don't know, because I have thought about it. But in order for me to give you a real answer, I need to do a little more research on that.
Yes.
And so if you or whomever the person that asked that question will allow me to get back to you on that one, it's not that I'm running from the question, but I tell everybody, I'm a practical guy.
Yes.
And that is, when you're talking about expanding the courts, it's a lot of things that had to happen
Yeah.
in order to expand the courts.
Yes, sir.
And so you just don't talk about that like it's some simple things that just going to happen overnight.
Right. Right. Okay.
And
Let's
so
move
I
on.
would be,
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. Let's move on to our caller. Caller, welcome to the Open Line Radio Show. You got a question for Mr. Jamie Davis? He's a candidate for the Democratic nomination, U.S. Senate in the state of Louisiana. Go ahead.
Yeah, good to meet you, James. Hey, you know, this has been Louisiana, man. We're in some dangerous time waters right now. First of all, we got, what I'm understanding, we got two people in heartbeat to the presidency. We got the Speaker of the House and Scalise, Christ himself. Now he's a majority whip, or majority leader. So we got two heartbeats into the presidency. Yet we the smallest state in the union. Now we going just like when David Duke came, it went nationwide. He just changed the message, and it came out of Louisiana. So all roads lead to the south. I guess what I'm trying to say. And I want your thoughts on that, brother James. And with this Supreme Court ruling, how you gonna make a ruling? You know it wasn't gonna pass muster, and you come right back and sue what you put in place.
Right.
That don't make sense.
Okay. All right. Brother candidate Davis.
Just make it short, 'cause I'm sure you want to.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
okay. So it sounds like his question was about the maps and how the Supreme Court ruled on it. And am I correct on that, Brother Jay, when what I thought I heard the caller say?
Yeah, Brother Paul, that was your question about the maps, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my question on Supreme. We got a road court,
Well, yes.
and they're not being consistent with their policy.
Yes. He
They're
said.
going in the same rule and come with make a different rules.
Okay.
So it's not cutting mustard, what I'm saying. But the whole thing is coming out the smallest state in the union, just like the 25, that good, better bill. 25 comes out of Louisiana. So what I'm saying, James, all roads lead south.
Yeah. It's amazing that a state that has so many issues, and I'm sorry, I'm the most negative, brother candidate Davis, of a person who I'm trying to bring out factual stuff. We have people who Louisiana leads last in education, healthcare, and basically last, and so we got to make some improvements but not enough. But we got people in government from this state running things. That is not the smartest move. Some of our leadership, I'm ashamed of them. You know? Go ahead, Brother Davis. Go ahead.
So to answer the caller's question is I totally agree. He is totally right on what he's saying. The map that we're talking about that are in question that they ruled unconstitutional, that map was brought to the floor by a Republican, Glenn Womack. It was their map. It wasn't our map. It was their map. And they did play in our face, just like the brother is saying. They presented a map. They, with a supermajority, passed that map. And at the very moment that the map passed, with the backing of our Attorney General, she was behind this map 100%. He is exactly right. They played in our face. They passed the map. They sued the map. They got the map thrown out. They played in our face.
Yes.
Simply put.
Okay.
But now, that's not the issue. The issue is we don't go vote. Jeff Landry would not be serving as our governor if Louisiana gets up off his butts and go vote. So look, allow me to say this.
Okay.
You remember I started the show by saying that let the work that you do speak for you. So the work that we done as a state, and when we do not go vote, we're getting you getting the yield that you planted by not going to vote. I'm a farmer, so I'm going to talk to you in farm language. If you plant bad seed, you get a bad yield.
Yeah.
You get a bad crop. Louisiana did not go vote in 2023. There is no way possible that a governor should win an election with that small of a turnout. It was more important at that time to Louisiana voters to go to a Saints game in Houston, to go to homecoming at Grambling, at Southern, at all of our HBCUs on election day. It was more important to go and do those things at that time. So now we have to live with the yield that we planted.
Yes, yes, indeed.
And that's where we are in this time.
Okay, Brother Paul. You could listen online. We're getting a lot of little feedback, but thank you so much for the call. Thank you. That's basically, if you sample our audience, and Brother Keith could tell you, that's the concern they have about Louisiana being in the horrible position it is, but yet we have leadership that's making decisions that affect the whole United States. So it's almost like we begging for people to come help us, but we don't want to do the work. You know, I've been very critical of politicians, Democrat and Republican, more so the Republicans and the MAGA types. We have a lot of leadership here, in, Brother Davis, in South Louisiana. We have what you call the Acadiana Delegation Black Caucus. And I am deeply disappointed because the people who are making and pushing the policy before the Supreme Court are from Lafayette. Mr. Kevin Roberts, he's from Lafayette. Nancy Landry is from Lafayette. Liz Morrell from Lafayette went to school in this area. Jeff Landry from this area. You know, Clay Higgins. All these people who are dead set against pushing, letting black folks achieve their having let's say having a little bit more fairness dealing with them on a political climate. They are against that. And our delegation has to be like you, brother. Be a little bit forceful in the way they deal with the same people that's trying to push them back, you know? Sorry for my rant, brother.
No, that's okay, man. I totally get it. But, like I told you, I'm a pragmatic guy. Yes. I'm a simple guy. I'm not a glitz and glamour type guy.
Right.
You know, I'm not what they call a suit politician. I'm a farmer that do things that work. I don't try to do things that don't work. So when I say that we're basically living through what I would consider to be a bad crop year. And you have to learn from the mistakes that you make in the past. We have to learn that we have to go vote.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people that go vote going to rule over you.
Yes.
And when they rule over you and they have the number of votes that rule over you, that your party don't even matter, basically means that they can bring a bill to the floor and pass it and not one Democrat have to vote on it. They could not even show up and the bill still passes. You cannot have that kind of government and expect to get anything out of it unless you're a Republican. Now, if you're a Republican, you can get whatever you want.
So what's your motivating message for people to come look at your campaign? For people across the board in the viewing audience of AOC Community Media, what's the message that you want to give out to them to look at you, to look at what you can do for them if elected?
My message is very clear. I will be accountable for the things that I do. I will work in Washington in the same matter, in the same order that I've worked to build my farm and my business, to be successful. I'm not some guy that's running for this seat because I'm looking to have some big career as a politician. I'm going to Washington to get a job done. And that job means making the Louisiana that's better for you and I. Because when I go to Washington to serve you as a people, a vote for me is a vote for you. Because I am one of you. I am the people. I'm a guy that when I am not out on the campaign trail, I'm out on my farm trying to make a honest day's living for me and my family. And what good does it do for a man to work really hard to try to have something that he can leave for his future? And that future for me is my grandyoungins and your grandyoungins and all our kids. What good does it do for us to work our butts off to try to have something to leave behind when the people that you're leaving it behind for will not want to live in Louisiana when that time comes for us to leave it?
Yes.
So the time is now to fight to make a change. And that's what I will do. I will fight for the people of Louisiana. I didn't say for Democrats or Republicans or for the left or the right. I said I will fight for the people of Louisiana for what's right, to make a Louisiana, number one, that we can all afford, to make a Louisiana that we all can have just the common things of healthcare, that we can all have just great educations, no matter of your zip code. And the only way we can do that is by sending somebody to Washington that will fight for the people.
Okay.
And out of the candidates that are left in this campaign and in this election cycle, I am the only person that is for the people.
Yes.
The rest of them are all suits. Fleming, his life is made. He's filthy rich. Letlow, they pulled the covers back on her. She has made a fortune doing stock trading. So it don't matter to them how we live as a people. What matters to them is being able to stay in office and be able to continue to build finances. The people don't matter. Why can you say that, James? Because their votes show that the people don't matter.
Yes.
When you are the representative for the 5th Congressional District and you vote against the base of your constituency, which is over 54% of the people in Congressional District number 5, they all depend on Medicaid, Medicare, and the ACAs for healthcare insurance. And you cut that when more than 50% of the people in your congressional district use that healthcare policy, and you cut it. To me, that's saying that I don't care about the people in that district.
Right. Right. Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes. Certainly, you present a very insightful call to action, in the sense that we could say it on this station. Certainly, my brother, that's what people have to look at, the honesty. You're not bought out by the corporate interests, and you're not a person who will not return you. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm learned he got an open door policy. I'm pretty sure, right, brother? The constituent could talk to you, and that's what we need. We can't talk to some of these people. We can't talk. So, give us a little bit more info about how to contact you, or how to help get into your campaign. Give us a little bit more information on that.
Well, brothers, to start off, the easiest, most simplest way to get in touch with our campaign will be to go to www.jamie4, F-O-R, not the number, Jamie4 Louisiana, spell the whole word of Louisiana.com, Jamie4Louisiana.com, and there's a place where if you're interested, you can put what you're interested in. There's a place that if you have a concern, you can leave a concern. If you want to volunteer, there's a place you can put that in there. There are so many things that you can do on our website to get involved.
Okay.
If you just want to send me a message, you can send a message on that website. So that's the easiest way.
Okay.
Because there is somebody that's looking at that website. I won't say 24 hours because they do sleep, but most of the day when people are awake during the business hours, there's somebody looking at that website and to make sure that their needs are being addressed.
Okay.
That's the easiest way. If you try to call me, you may get me and you may not. If you can only imagine the phone, I don't know if you could hear the phone ringing while we're on this interview.
Yeah.
But the phone pretty much don't stop ringing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So so that means I got a backlog from this interview of probably 4 or 5 calls that I got to call people back.
Okay.
So it's kind of really hard to just dial me up and get me unless you just call at the perfect time.
Yes.
And I just finished the call and you call and the phone ring and it's in my hand.
Yes.
Well, I'm always answering it.
Okay. Well, that sounds good, and hope to see you down the line, and good luck on the campaign. We really appreciate you giving the Open Line Radio Show this valuable time and on the airways of AOC Community Media. I want to thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you so much for having me, and I really do appreciate it.
All right. Keep in contact. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
There you go, people. We just finished up this interview, and I'm sorry the phone line started ringing at the end of the segment. We go open up the phone line in a little while. We definitely appreciate Mr. Davis coming on the show, and we want to hear from him, and hopefully we could have the other Democratic nominee, and maybe I know some MAGA types who are on the other shows on AOC Community Media, and you got to decide for yourself. You got to decide for yourself, people.